Today's update is especially important for older Americans because it brings together two things that deeply affect daily life after retirement: the ability to keep driving safely and legally, and the financial stability that comes from Social Security, pensions, and senior benefits. The title of this video says it clearly. 7 new U.S. driving laws are beginning in January 2026, and seniors aged 65 and older need to stay alert. These changes are not meant to scare anyone, but they do require attention, understanding, and preparation. When rules change quietly, confusion can lead to fines, license problems, or unnecessary stress. And for seniors living on fixed incomes, even small problems can turn into big financial burdens. Let's start by being very clear about something important. Driving laws in the United States are set at the state level, but in recent years, many changes have been coordinated across states because of federal safety guidance, insurance data, and new transportation technology. What this means is that even if the exact wording of a law differs from one state to another, the impact on seniors is often very similar nationwide. January 2026 marks the point when several updates that have been discussed for years finally take effect in many states at once. For seniors, driving is not just about convenience. It is about independence, dignity, and access to medical care, groceries, family, and community life. Losing the ability to drive can increase isolation and expenses, especially in areas with limited public transportation. That is why understanding these new rules ahead of time is so important. One major change coming in January 2026 involves license renewal procedures for drivers aged 65 and older. In many states, renewal cycles are becoming shorter for older drivers. This does not mean seniors are being targeted unfairly. Instead, states are responding to updated safety studies that focus on vision, reaction time, and cognitive awareness as people age. For many seniors, the renewal process will now require more frequent vision testing and, in some cases, an in-person visit rather than online renewal. The key point here is that failing to complete a required renewal step on time can automatically invalidate a license, even if the driver feels perfectly capable. That can lead to tickets, insurance issues, and higher costs. Another significant change involves medical reporting requirements. Starting in 2026, more states will require doctors to report certain medical conditions that may affect driving ability. This includes serious vision loss, advanced neurological conditions, and episodes that cause loss of consciousness. For seniors, this can feel uncomfortable or even frightening, but it is important to understand that reporting does not always mean automatic license suspension. In many cases, it leads to further evaluation, restricted licenses, or adaptive requirements such as daytime-only driving. Knowing your state's rules in advance allows you to talk openly with your doctor and avoid surprises. Vehicle technology is also playing a growing role in new driving laws. Many newer cars now include advanced driver assistance systems such as lane warnings, automatic braking, and collision alerts. Beginning in January 2026, some states will require drivers to demonstrate basic understanding of these systems during testing or renewal if their vehicle includes them. Seniors who purchase newer vehicles, often using retirement savings or pension income, may not realize that unfamiliar technology can affect their driving evaluation. Taking time to learn these systems can prevent problems later. Now let's talk about penalties, because this is where driving laws and senior finances intersect directly. Fines for traffic violations are increasing in many states in 2026, particularly for distracted driving, failure to yield, and improper lane use. For someone living on Social Security or a fixed pension, even a single fine can disrupt a monthly budget. In addition, repeated violations can lead to higher insurance premiums, which can quietly drain hundreds of dollars a year from retirement income. Staying informed about new enforcement rules is a form of financial protection. Another area of change involves insurance reporting and verification. More states are moving to real-time insurance verification systems starting in 2026. This means that if your insurance lapses even briefly, your registration or license could be flagged automatically. Seniors sometimes change insurance plans to save money, especially when costs rise faster than benefits. It is now more important than ever to make sure there is no gap in coverage during a switch. A lapse could lead to penalties that cost far more than the savings you were trying to achieve. At the same time these driving laws are changing, many seniors are also navigating updates to Social Security, Medicare, and pension benefits. This matters because transportation costs are closely linked to overall retirement expenses. Gas prices, car maintenance, insurance, and registration fees all come out of the same monthly income as food, housing, and medical care. When driving becomes more regulated or expensive, it can indirectly increase financial stress. That is why it is important to view these new driving laws not as isolated rules, but as part of a larger picture of aging in America. Staying legally on the road helps seniors maintain independence and avoid additional costs. Losing a license unexpectedly can force reliance on paid transportation, delivery services, or family support, all of which have financial implications. There is also a growing connection between driving status and benefit access. In some areas, proof of a valid driver's license is still required for certain identity verifications related to benefits, banking, or services. While alternative IDs are available, delays or confusion can occur when documents are outdated. Keeping your license current and compliant helps avoid administrative problems that can interfere with benefit access. As we move into the second part of this video, we will continue explaining these changes in more detail and focus on what seniors can do now to prepare. The goal is not to overwhelm you, but to give you clarity, confidence, and control. Understanding the rules ahead of time allows you to make calm decisions, protect your income, and continue living independently for as long as possible. Now let's continue with the remaining changes and, more importantly, what practical steps seniors can take to stay safe, legal, and financially protected as these new driving laws begin in January 2026. Knowledge alone is helpful, but preparation is what truly makes the difference. Another major update involves driving assessments after certain incidents. In 2026, more states will require automatic review of a senior's driving status after at-fault accidents or repeated traffic citations. This does not mean immediate loss of driving privileges, but it can trigger a request for retesting or evaluation. For seniors, this is especially important because even a minor accident can now have longer-lasting consequences. Understanding this rule encourages defensive driving and careful decision-making, which in turn helps protect insurance rates and personal savings. Night driving restrictions are also becoming more common. Some states are expanding their use of restricted licenses that limit driving after dark for certain age groups or medical conditions. For seniors who already avoid night driving, this may not change daily life much, but it is important to understand that violating a restriction, even unintentionally, can lead to penalties. Knowing your license conditions and respecting them is essential. Another change beginning in 2026 involves roadway design and compliance. Many intersections and highways are being redesigned with new signage, updated lane markings, and different right-of-way rules. Seniors who have been driving the same routes for decades may not notice subtle changes right away. Unfortunately, enforcement officers will still expect compliance. Taking time to stay aware of local traffic updates can prevent costly mistakes. Let's also talk about how these driving changes connect to senior benefits more directly. Transportation costs are not officially categorized as medical expenses, but they play a major role in accessing healthcare. Many seniors drive themselves to doctor appointments, pharmacies, and therapy sessions. If new laws limit driving ability, alternative transportation may be needed. While some communities offer senior transportation programs, availability is uneven. Planning ahead helps avoid last-minute expenses. Social Security and pension income in 2026 will continue to face pressure from inflation even when cost of living adjustments are applied. That makes avoiding unnecessary expenses even more important. Traffic fines, insurance increases, and license reinstatement fees can quietly erode monthly income. Staying compliant with driving laws is a form of financial discipline, just like budgeting or reviewing benefits. For seniors who are still working part-time, driving is often essential for earning supplemental income. Losing driving privileges can mean losing wages, which can affect not only daily living but also taxes and benefit calculations. Being proactive about license requirements helps protect this income stream. There is also an emotional side to these changes that should not be ignored. Many seniors feel anxious about evaluations, testing, or discussions about driving ability. This anxiety is understandable. Driving represents freedom and self-reliance. The best way to reduce fear is preparation. Scheduling vision checks early, reviewing renewal dates, and discussing concerns openly with family members can turn a stressful situation into a manageable one. Family support is another important factor. Adult children and caregivers should be aware of these new laws as well. Open conversations about transportation plans can prevent conflict and confusion later. When everyone understands the rules, decisions can be made calmly and respectfully. Technology can be a helpful ally if approached carefully. Many modern vehicles offer safety features that can extend driving years when used correctly. Seniors should not hesitate to ask for help learning these systems, whether from dealerships, family members, or community classes. Confidence with technology can improve safety and reduce the risk of violations. Finally, it is important to remember that driving laws are not designed to punish seniors. They are intended to balance safety with independence. Millions of older Americans continue to drive safely every day, and these laws do not change that reality. What they do change is the level of awareness and documentation required. As we look ahead to January 2026, the message is clear. Staying informed is one of the most powerful tools seniors have. Understanding new driving laws helps protect not only physical safety, but also financial security and access to benefits. When you avoid fines, insurance increases, and unexpected restrictions, you preserve your income and your peace of mind. In closing, remember what we have covered today. New driving laws are coming, and they affect seniors in very real ways. By paying attention now, reviewing your license status, staying medically and visually prepared, and understanding how these rules connect to your overall financial picture, you can move forward with confidence. Staying alert is not about fear. It is about staying informed, staying independent, and protecting the stability you have worked your entire life to build.